Okay, so now that the air cleaner's off, we can see the area that we need to get to. By the way, this is the throttle body, but this is what we're looking for. The VVT's right here, the solenoid. This is the electrical connection. And just below it, all gunked up, you can see the screen is underneath that plug right there. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do some wiping and degreasing. It's always a good idea to clean this out before you start taking apart things that go into the engine anyhow. Any of these grease and chunks could fall into the passages, and you don't want that happening, especially not in the variable valve timing section. I'll just kind of put a paper towel down here to kind of catch it, catch the runoff. Now let's see, I'm thinking it's been about a year since I did a good cleaning on this motor. A little over a year ago, I embarked on a 8,000 mile journey, and beforehand I did a pretty good detail. I did some maintenance and a pretty good detailing, and I can't remember if I got into this part or not. But what I want to do is try to get as much grease out from around this edge area as I can. And then I'm going to come up and get this area here too. Now, this takes an 8mm hex. This is just a Phillips screwdriver. I'm going to squish it in there to kind of try to get out some of the grease. There's a bunch of grease in the recess here, and I want to try to get that out of the way so that the 8mm socket fits in there. The 8mm, what I'm using is an 8mm hex on a 3/8 inch socket base so that I can use it with my ratchet. Now, careful on this one. You don't want to have to do this twice. You don't want to strip this out. So the conventional wisdom says don't use a Harbor Freight piece here. So 3/8 inch, and it's a hardened steel rather than the whatever it is that Harbor Freight uses. If this thing strips out that nut, you know, this guy here, then it can be pretty dangerous, pretty tough trying to get this out again, because it sets, as you can see, flush. So also, I'm not going to use my standard like 10-inch extension that I kind of generally gets used on almost everything, but I'm going to use a much shorter, like 3-inch extension, because I want the torque to go directly to the guy here. Let's see, I'm gonna get this as worked in there as I can. And here comes the dangerous part. Broke loose easily. That's nice. This is a 2006 Prius with 130, just short of 139,000 miles on it, I think. Definitely more than 138,000 miles. You see there's still some grease down in the socket. And then I'm going to go ahead and go by hand. Hey. I'm going to have to take this off anyhow. This is the connector for the actual valve solenoid that we're removing. There's a little depression thing here. Man, this is tough. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna tuck this out of the way. And I'll use this video later on to be able to determine where it goes, because I won't remember. Okay. There we go, and we have seepage coming out. Kind of didn't expect that, but should have. So, okay, here's the part. Well, it looks pretty good here. Okay, so what I want to point out is there's a washer here. And that washer should also be replaced. I'll put the part numbers down below. And that washer, looks like I'm probably going to have to use something to pry this apart. Let me see if I can get some grease under my thumbnail. The old one-handed. Okay, well, this is part of the reason why I bought a new piece that I just showed you a moment ago, is because this kind of thing can happen. Do I want to mess around with trying to get this washer off and maybe scratch things and mess up a surface? No, I'm going to toss this whole unit and use the new one that I bought instead. Okay, now we're going fishing for the screen. I happen to have this little tool that seems like it'll be just perfect to reach in there and pull out a screen. I can see it in there. Let me show you. There we go. So I'm gonna stick this in that little hole and pull it out. I'm doing this blind, by the way, just looking at the video. Like a surgeon. Okay, well, I'm gonna put the camera back and you'll see me pull it out. And this is why YouTube videos are great, because nobody said how to get this piece out. And I think I just randomly lucked on using the right exact tool. There it is. It doesn't really look clogged or anything, but you know, for $11, I'm replacing it.